So the theme for today is life purpose. Why are we here? What does it mean? What is it for? And also we're going to look at inner guidance. What that means, how do we know what kind of inner guidance we're having. And I'm going to read from a channeling from Jesus and add some comments as I go along. So this is what Jesus says. What is it for? What does it mean? Why are you here? These are the eternal questions posed to me, to Jesus, over and over again in prayers and throughout your experience in this three-dimensional world. You have come into this space-time reality. You know, we think space and time are real. He's teaching us that they're actually not. And here's the answer to the question of why we're here. You have come to this particular location in this very moment, in this body, to experience. That is why you're here. You have come here to experience separation. It's so simple. You have come here to experience your unique self, your divine self even, but you have forgotten that you are divine. See, we can experience our divine self even here in a body, but we've forgotten where we came from. You have been told otherwise. You have been told that you are indeed a limited physical being who is unable to affect anything in this world. The truth is, we are amazingly powerful, incredibly powerful. I mean, Jesus was able to rematerialize or dematerialize a body. That's how powerful we can be. We don't realize that we are projecting a whole world here with our collective thought. That's how powerful we are. And you have been taught to judge. You have been taught many, many things, indeed. And of course that's part of the plan. You know, the ego wants us to stay separate, so we've been teaching each other rules of separation. Now this next sentence, which I've mentioned a number of times, which is perhaps the most important of all, you have done this to yourself. We are doing this unto ourselves. This single lesson learnt will set you free from all suffering. That's a quote. So you have done this to yourself. It has not been done to you by a cruel God, like Christianity says. You know, Christianity says if you don't do this or that, you will be punished and go to hell. So it's not been done by a cruel God. You decided in quite a creative moment, we must admit. And when he says we, I think he's talking about the ascended masters that he's working with all the time. Ananda or whatever else you want to call them. In quite a creative moment, we admit that you wanted to experience something other than oneness. And if you remember, and it's on the handout I'm going to give you, there's a quote in the Course that said, the Son of God had a tiny mad idea. And that idea was, what would it be like to go and play on my own, separate from God? What would it be like to experience separation at this particular moment? You wanted to experience ideas, concepts, and this sort of thing on your own. And why not? It's a what if. What if I do that? And people say, why would you do that? And I would say, well, why not? But this is why you're experiencing... That is what you are experiencing, and that is why you feel so alone in the particular form that you are in. So we've chosen separation. So guess what? We feel separated. We feel alone. It's a choice, just to see how it feels for a while, or even a moment. And part of the script, of course, is this sense of linear time, which, of course, what Jesus says is an illusion. It's all happening. One tiny moment of mad idea, the world and the whole universe rolls out and rolls back in the same moment. But in that one moment, we experience billions of years. So that is why you feel so alone in this particular form, in an isolated body. Bodies are separate. An apparently isolated mind, but we're being taught that we are one mind, and so our minds are affecting every other mind. And a victim of a world that you have no influence over. This is what we believe. This was your desire. Just a wish. What would it be like? And you feel as if you have been abandoned. But in fact, you abandoned oneness. You abandoned God, or we did. But we've set it up that we feel that God has abandoned us. You abandoned love. You stepped away from unification, from unity consciousness or God, or all that is, or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. This oneness is what you came from. You have isolated yourself from love. Yes, you get glimpses of it in this experience, like many of us have had glimpses of feeling real love during a rebirthing session, for example. But they're only fleeting. They don't last very long. And Jesus asks why. And then he says, because you're not focused on love. And we're focused on judgments. Oh, you're focused on judgment, you know. Focused on your separation and on what is wrong. So we're looking all the time for something to blame out there, something out there that we can judge as doing wrong. And that's our focus most of the time. Just watch the news. It's all about what is wrong. What's going wrong in the world. All you have to do is listen to conversations in your world and spend a little time looking at the thoughts in your mind, and you will see this. You will see this mindset is very judgmental. It relentlessly seeks separation through the act of judgment. So we are judging nearly all the time. So it takes great practice through the teaching of A Course in Miracles or true forgiveness to let go of judgment. It seems very valuable to us. And he continues, and that is, of course, why I taught the practice of non-judgment and the practice of forgiveness in my physical incarnation 2,000 years ago. It is through the practice of non-judgment and forgiveness that you will quiet the mind and begin in very small steps initially to experience a reconnection, a reassociation, if you will, to love and to that which you call God, that which you call consciousness, or the energy, the vibration of oneness. So I think I might have shared before, but I noticed really that I spent quite some years releasing all this blocked energy in my system, this huge ocean of tears that I had in my awareness. And it was only then that I really started working with letting go of judgments. You know, I needed to cry a lot, and many of you do too. But you'll start to notice that the real work starts after the ocean of tears has kind of stopped. I mean, I still tear very frequently, but I don't do the oceans of tears that I used to do. Now it's diligently watching my mind for the next judgment. And they keep coming, believe you me. You are reading this because you are ready to hear this. Or you're hearing this because you're ready. You would not be here if you were not ready to hear it. So what is your purpose here? What is the meaning of your life? The meaning of your life is to express your individuality initially. So we chose separation, we chose to hide in a body, if you like, and to experience that. So in a way, that's our purpose. Right? And that is why you are here. This is why you have desires, that's why you want things, and that is why you think certain people, places and things will make you happy. So we go around thinking there's something out there that can complete me, whether it's a partner, or a job, or country, or whatever. You have these beliefs in your mind, and that is what you came here to experience. Now this next paragraph is very much about our guidance system. And I love how he combines these two very smoothly, if you like. You decided to take yourself away from oneness, away from love, away from all that is and down into separation, into this experience in a body. You were not judged for that. So God doesn't judge us. You were given help. You were given a way home. Or if you like, we set it up so that there was a way home. We took a memory of oneness or heaven with us into the dream. And you were given a guidance system to assist you in this journey home. So we brought with us a guidance system. This guidance system is your emotional system. Your feeling body. A system that you have been given on this journey. So our feelings are our guidance system. It is a map from love to you, he says. You wanted individuality, but oneness knew that this would be too much. On some level we knew that if we totally separated, we'd be lost. That this would be a suicide mission, if you will, if you did not have a map. Now this map, this guidance system has not been explained to you very well. It's not been taught to you. You have been taught, on the other hand, to medicate it, to override it, to shut it up, to suppress it, and this is why you suffer. So when we were young, our guidance system was much more active. We knew when we felt good, we were getting what we needed. When we felt bad, we weren't. But our parents couldn't handle all this energy because they had also been suppressed. So they tried to push it down, and we learnt to hide our feelings to the point where we couldn't feel them anymore. To the point where we ended up with a tension or pain in our body, or an organ that was not functioning properly, but holding a lot of feelings. And if you look at a whole society, it's all about sit on it, babe. Quite literally. And this is why you have a difficult time with sicknesses, because you've pushed it down, with suicides, because no one feels, they feel they cannot, no one there to witness or listen to our feelings. With depression, with anger, with rage, and with war. You could say that's actually why everything that's happening in the world is because of this. It's sitting on our feelings. These are all consequences of a mind that does not understand its guidance system. Now your guidance system is in alignment with love, with joy, with creativity, and with all the higher-minded ideals that express God and express oneness, that express what you came from. this idea that you came from love. You are an aspect in the mind, of that mind. You have not left it. You know, we're still at home at God, in God, dreaming of exile. You have not really descended into separation. We just think we have. Right? We're still got this umbilical cord, if you like, or the Holy Spirit, as it course calls it, this umbilical cord back to heaven. And we can access it if we know how. You are an idea in the mind of God. That is what we will say, that is what you are. And that idea has a vibration of love. In other words, that's our natural state. Love is our natural inheritance. And if you separate yourself from that vibration through judgment, in other words, if we block it, or through hatred or narrowness of thought, you will feel bad. So when we do something that's not loving, we feel bad. Unless you have suppressed it so much that you can't feel anything. But for most of us, when we do something wrong, we feel a conscience. We can feel that this doesn't feel right, and yet I still feel I have to do it. So here's the guidance system. When I'm not in alignment with love, I feel bad. You must understand that your design, this is very important, that your physical design, your body and the senses, now your senses are your touch, your hearing, your vision, your smell and your taste. These are senses given, or that we've chosen, to experience this world. In other words, it's for us to experience separation. Like if I could touch you, it confirms that we're separate. If I can smell you, it confirms that there's something out there that I can smell. If I can see you, it confirms that we're separate. So our senses were designed, it is for you to experience aloneness and for you to seek out information that proves you are alone. So if I can see something out there, it proves I'm separate from the thing that I'm looking at. So be aware that our senses are not in alignment with love, they're in alignment with separation. So one thing that we could maybe explore is this gut feeling. A gut feeling could be just a fight or flight response from a memory from the past. It may not be real now. So, Jesus goes on, and this really is looking at as we've said before, we always have two choices. We can look at something from our right mind, our connection back to oneness, or the ego voice. So this is from the right mind. So your job here, you could say this is a right-minded purpose. Yes, we chose to be separate, but we can also choose to awaken and go back. So he says, your job here is to eliminate the beliefs you hold in the mind that separate you from the awareness of love's presence. And that's what the introduction to the course says. This course is about removing the blocks to the awareness of love. That is your job. That is what your life is for. Yes, Afton.
If our senses is reminding us that we are separate from love, how do we use our senses to find back to love?
You don't. You use your emotions.
Okay.
This is how tricky the ego is. So we can choose to use our, like why we're here, a purpose of why we're here, to awaken. So that is your job, to remove the blocks. That is what life can be for. If you do not do it, you will have another one and another one and another one. We can have as many opportunities as we like to awaken. There is no time running out here. If we don't do it this lifetime, we'll experience another one in the dream. It is exhausting for those of you who suffer. If you have pain, time seems to drag on. It is exhausting for those who suffer with sicknesses, depression, suicidal thoughts, and this kind of thing. It is a relentless lesson that you must learn, but there are many, many messengers, such as myself, bringing you the truth. Bringing these threads of absolute understanding that you must begin to accept. Now he's telling us that we have another form of guidance in the form of Jesus' teachings, which can be like the Course in Miracles or many other books, but also through our minds. Like people who are channeling, I mean, in a way we can all channel Jesus on some level, or other ascended masters. And I'm told that they're working with anyone who is open to receiving their guidance. You do not have to do it now. You can continue to experience separation or fear, sickness and death if you wish, but it's unnecessary. All you have to do is listen to your guidance system. Now this really is the answer to your question, Master. Your emotional guidance system is a feedback system that works all of the time, telling you how you are doing. And here's the key. If you feel at peace, if you feel happy, if you feel created, you're on the right track. Creative, you're on the right track, and you are expressing your true self. If, on the other hand, you are resentful, you feel put upon, like a victim, or you feel unfairly treated, then you're off track. You're listening to the ego voice. You are doing these things, they're doing things that are not in accord with your natural self, if you're listening to the ego voice. Now this might be through conditioning, or it might be through untrue teachings from your family, your culture, or your religion. But your lack of joy is telling you that you are out of accord with this idea that you are of love. You need to change what you believe, and you need to change what you do. That is the purpose now, the new purpose, or the right-minded purpose of your life. That is why these teachings are coming to you in a form that is easily assimilated, in a form that is approachable, and in a form that you can understand. If you have lost your way, Spirit will not allow you to become too lost. Like I say, this umbilical cord, you can stretch it a long, long way, but you can't break it. It's impossible to break it. You can block it, you can put a clip on it so tight that you can't feel Spirit at all, but you cannot break it. It is kind, it is loving, and it will bring you home to recalibrate your mind and give you another chance. But you set the vibration of your next experience in this experience. And I think I've said this before, whatever work we do this lifetime, we take with us. Whatever inner work we do this lifetime, we take with us.
Where?
Into the next
Lifetime?
dream lifetime, yeah.
So we are born again.
You can dream that you're
Yes.
born again, yes. Since the mind is eternal, whatever we learn, we keep with us. So change your vibration now, why not? And come to understand what this life is for. It is for raising vibration. It is for letting go of beliefs that are unloving. It is for letting go of judgment. And it is for letting go of all those sins that you think have been committed against you. In other words, forgiveness. They have not been committed against you. They are misunderstandings in your mind that you must let go of. From Spirit's point of view, only love is real. You must begin to train your mind. You must look within, look at what you are thinking. This is what we've been doing. And you must look at what you are feeling and understand the language in which these responses come to you. You must cease putting violence in the mind and watching murder and entertainment like television. Stop watching the news, guys. You must cease judging other beings, for that increases your feeling of separation and isolation and fear. You must cease abusing the body as your enemy. You must cease worshipping the body as your God. And you must use the body for that which is holy. So this is the practice. Now, we do not speak in religious terms here. We do not ask you to be celibate. Far from it. We ask you to clarify your mind and use the body to experience what is love, true, and in alignment with oneness. And you will be guided on your path by your feeling, emotional body. So it doesn't matter what we do here. It's which teacher are we doing it with. You know, we can have sex, we can do whatever we want to do. Which teacher are we doing it with? You will know whether you are on the path by the fact that you feel at peace. So the purpose of your life is to love. The purpose of your life is to create. The purpose of your life is to forgive. As you follow these prescriptions, the experience, the feedback that you will get from the world will begin to turn your life from a nightmare into a pleasurable dream that will transfer into what we call heaven. So the more peaceful we get, the more we will get reflection of that from outside. And when we get to the top of the ladder, we will step back into heaven and not dream of another body.